Yeah,
too early to tell.
I feel like welterweight is the place where I would cement my legacy and thrive the best at. And those were all the big names in boxing are. You know, you got all the Devin Haney's, the Teofimo Lopez's, and Ryan Garcia's. This is the weight class it's the Glamour division in boxing. So I think this is where I can really make a real chase to greatness in this weight class.
Talking about Devin Haney, how do you feel about Devin Haney and possibly Keyshawn Davis?
So I think it was just like one of those freak accident, and that's all there is to it. Everyone wants there to be more to it. That he was hurt going in, or they're watching him take his shoe off, and it was so funny. He's like, I saw him say something like, "Yeah, like I had no socks on, and my shoe got stuck because your foot gets hot. That's normal. If you forget to put your socks on, or don't, because in this case he's going to fight, your shoe sticks to your foot. Like, duh." So I don't know about the conspiracy theorists that there was other things wrong with him.
Use that B word. I believe you called him that word after the fight.
Bitch.
Yeah.
I call him a little bitch. Yeah, I feel like he's a little bitch, man. I don't know.
How did you feel about him coming into the cage afterwards? Were you cool with that?
I think, it was cool. They told me that it was going to happen. They said that he was in town, and I was like, okay, yeah, they want to do a face-off. And I was like, that's interesting that he's in town for the fight he was supposed to show up to, and he's walking around all fine, doing media, blah, 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 smiling, taking pictures. It's like, bro, you were supposed to fight me. Like, for me, I wouldn't want to be at that fight. Like, if I'm seriously that injured, I'm getting surgery, and I can't even be there.
Number 3, when it was time to speak in the octagon and Conor had a microphone opportunity, he did not take it. Chael, Conor spoke even when he was sitting down on the ground with a broken leg. You taught us 3 times to make a statement. On your way to the octagon, in the octagon during the fight, and while you're leaving the octagon for the interview. Mystic Mac, for the first time in history, had nothing to predict and nothing to say. Professor Chael, how do we interpret that?
Glenn Bell, my man, great to hear from you. So it's very interesting that you ask about that, because I also wondered, how do we interpret that? I mean, I remember that in the night and in the moment. And it was disappointing. By the way, there's nothing we'd rather see after a McGregor fight than a McGregor interview. He has literally never let us down. Every interview he's ever done is the headline news for the next week. And I remember when he walked out because of the camera angle. And so I couldn't see if they were unwilling to interview him.
Since he's been begging for this fight, begging for this thing, and then he gets the chance, and he's on the mic, and he's saying, "Oh, I want to be a good example for the kids," and then you come take a cheap shot at me and kick me across the stage when I'm not even ready for it, and you won't even let me talk at the press conference of my company. I'm an investor in Real American Freestyle. He's not an investor. He's a nobody. He's a bum. He's irrelevant, and it was classless, Mike. You claim you want to be an example for the kids. Is that how you set an example for the kids?
Yeah, I think the perfect person to put me right in line to beat and to get a title shot after would be Weili or Tatiana. Verna already lost to the belt. I guess Tatiana did also lose to the belt too. I think Weili would be the perfect person. I think it would be a great fight. I think people think I could beat everybody except for Weili. I kind of see that in the comments, like, oh, Fatima could beat everybody but Weili. And so I would love to prove people wrong with that one, and I'd love to prove it to myself. And, if she decides she's coming back to 115, I'd love to welcome her back.
Don't know that I totally relate to that, but I have seen things like that. I accepted it when Daniel said it. John Jones as a coach. Okay, right now, I can talk to him. I'm a coach, he's a coach. I work with guys, he works with guys. If he goes on and has a world champion, it's going to put me right back in the back seat. Right, like John Jones is at a level of success in this world that nobody can relate to. And I think he's doing a damn good job. I got to tell you, as a coach, I have been very impressed. I came across 3 technique videos with John. 3 technique videos. And it was just him showing something when somebody turned the camera on. I could not believe how well he relayed this information. Not to mention, John does have techniques that other people don't know, which is unusual. Because somebody showed that to John. Like, John didn't have private training. It wasn't like Floyd Mayweather, right? Where the old man's doing this in the living room after they moved the coffee table and now it just stays between us. It's not like that. John would go to these open classes.
Yeah. I'm not huge that you have to disclose all your injuries, but when it's something like this, you know, weird and Twilight Zone-ish, you should post a picture of that damn MRI, bro. Let's see it, because we shouldn't be here wondering whether you tweaked it or you tore it. We want to know, did you tear it?
Well, he's getting surgery, so he has to.
He had it. I'm guessing he tore his meniscus.
Because you don't go and scope an ACL.
No, but when if it's a slight tear, maybe they just give you a timeline where you shouldn't be too active. So
but he said he's doing surgery. Because you wouldn't just do that.
If it's a bucket tear in the meniscus where it's catching, I know they have to go in there and trim it out.
Yeah.
But if it's a slight tear in the ACL, he might better rehab.
He officially said he's having knee surgery, right? Is that what you just said? Not ACL.
Knee surgery could be just
meniscus.
So Conor didn't officially say that he's having knee surgery, but Dana said he's having knee surgery. I don't know. How about this? What do you guys think actually happened? We've had some time off now in between the last show and this show. Did Conor have
did he
have an ACL injury before? Did he taking a shoe off? Did he, where were you guys at with the whole thing?
I don't know if we'll ever know that if he went into this fight with something bothering him, but I think him landing at that bad angle on his knee after throwing a jump kick dry like that, I mean, I think it probably tore his knee apart. I think what we saw is what happened. I don't know if he went in there injured. I believe him when he says he was 100% healthy going in. All the videos on the internet of him taking off his shoe.
And he's starting the fight with that thing.
Yeah, if you were injured, why would you land on a hurt leg?
Sadly, I was one of those people that tried to put a limit on you. Because when you first told me, I called you like, hey, you know when it's worse? When you got a friend that sends you a text like, hey, you got time for a conversation? You know what I wanted?
Yeah, I knew.
You knew? Was Amy listening?
No, Amy was not listening, though.
Because Amy put something on Instagram that said, to try to tell Ben Askren not to wrestle is like telling a fish that they can't swim.